Okay, game designers, we're going to go into lesson number 3, which will be creating some uh, pickups and things like that. But before we do that, I want to adjust some things here in this last thing we did to make this a little more interesting. Uh, but one of the things that is a little is these are really fast, so you don't really have a whole lot of time. So what are we going to do? We're going to try to adjust these keyframes to make this run a little smoother. So what we can do is we go right here in your sequencer. So what you want to do is you want to, in your content browser under your sequences, you want to go ahead and open this moving platform sequence back up, which will give us our timeline here. And we'll want to kind of just take this. I'm going to move this all the way up. So we got 30 frames per second. So let's say if we go out to 120 would be 4, 150 would be 5. That would be 6 at 180. So let's look at this. So this makes this a slightly a little better. So we're going to kind of take this keyframe here and we're just going to drag it. So we'll drag it to the end. Okay? And so what that should do is actually make that go much slower. Okay, so we want this here. So if we go to about halfway through, let's go down to about somewhere in there, and we'll take this keyframe and we'll move it down somewhere around 80 or so. So let's see what that looks like. So let's go back to the beginning and we'll go ahead and click this. So that looks like that will go much smoother. So that looks much better to me. So we also need to do that for this one. So this one here is way over here. So what we want to do is we want to move this one also to frame 80, so that as these play, they will sit there, and then this one will go to this point here, and it's going to come back really fast. So we really don't want that. So we want to take this one here and move that one back there as well. So now if we go to the front and we hit play, now these will move like this. That one will kind of move back. So what we probably need to do with this one is we need to add, when this one gets to here, let's click that keyframe, and let's see, let's copy, and then let's move down to this point here. And let's see, where should we go? Let's paste the transform. Okay, so what we should see now, if we play this, we should see these. We're going to go here, go pause, and then they'll move back. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to do with this other one here is, instead of having it over here, I actually want to move it perhaps over to this island here, and kind of make it a little bit different. So you got to go over to this island. We'll add a couple little pickups or something here, and then we'll add another island over here that will move us over to this point here. So we'll add an additional one here. So at that point there, let's move this one over, and we'll have to kind of adjust this a little bit. And we might have a little issue, so let's do this. Let's take that keyframe, let's delete that one. Okay, so now this particular, I think it's only going to go over to here, and it's going to go to here. Okay. So at the beginning they're going to be tied together. We go over there, it's going to come back to here. Let's go ahead and just delete that keyframe there too. So let's do this from scratch. So we want to get this is going to move from here to here. And it's going to pause and then it's going to go back to here. So what we want to do here for this one is we'll want to take this and we'll want to move it over towards this island here. And let's see if we can get it down here. And we'll go ahead and kind of move it like that. A little bit more. A little bit more. So it's going to make it a little challenging here, actually. So let's just move it right into that. Move it to maybe somewhere like that. I'm gonna make it almost make it like a puzzle piece there. Okay, so now we have a keyframe there. So what we want to do is we'll want to basically copy this location. We can get it to copy. So let's copy that. Let's move right over here. And let's paste the transform. So now, once it gets to here, it should pause and then it should go back to where it started. Okay? So now let's see how that works. So when we begin our setup here, we're going to hit play. These are going to go there. That one's going to go all the way over there. It's going to pause for a while. It's going to come back and it's going to set there. Okay? So hopefully that will work out very well for us. So the next step is now we've got to be able to get from this one up to this one. So let's go to our content browser and let's see, it should be in our static meshes, I believe. So this SM floating island small, so let's just drag it over here and get to where somewhere like that. Drag it over here. It's fairly large, so let's put it down to about 0.5 or so. So make this one a slightly smaller. Okay. So we'll do that one like that. Okay, and if we go over to our sequencer here, we can basically add this one in there. So if we go here, we can add the sequencer, and we're going to add this floating out. So now we'll see that we have it down here. Okay, so let's go ahead and right here where it's at, we're just going to, at the back here, we're just going to add a keyframe. Okay, we'll go all over here to the front to 15 and we'll add us a keyframe. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll go over in our timeline and we will move our island up to here. So we're just going to move this one up. Oh, my bad. Let's move this over first. So let's just go over to about 90. And then we'll move it. So we'll move it up now, and you'll see it starts to create our time frame. So we'll get over to here, just kind of position it where we want it. Look and see, does that look good? Yeah, that looks pretty good there. Okay. So I think it looks pretty good, just like it is there. So our character should be able to just get off there pretty easily. We will right click here, copy that, move ourselves over to here, right click, and paste our transform. Okay, so now what we should have, I'm going to kind of back off here just a little bit so we can see all these islands together. You can see this, and we'll go back to the beginning. And as we play this, we should see that these islands will sit there, they'll kind of move together, and they'll go back apart. So now that should work very smoothly. So next step is, now let's see if we can test this before we move on to the next part. Okay, so we're going to start at checkpoint. Well, let's just play it from the very beginning this time, and then we'll set it up to where we're gonna work here. So we'll go ahead and hit play, and hopefully we'll start all the way back at the beginning. Oh, and we're started here. So let me fix that. So we want to make sure we go with the default player start, and then we'll hit play. So we should start back at the very beginning. Here my character can run, and hopefully I can defeat my own course. So we're going to go here. And my character's going to jump, jump, jump here, jump here, jump here. Sorry about the wild camera movement there. So we get all the way over to here, and we're on the checkpoint. So we got a little sound. We'll go up to here. We'll wait, get on our moving platform here, and we'll jump off, and we'll just wait for this next one to get here, jump on it. So this is a much smoother. Oh, and we didn't make it. So we'll start again and have to be a little faster there, won't we? So we'll try it again. Okay, so our character needs to get over here and jump onto this one. We're coming all the way down to this one here, and we're not going to make it, so we got to be cautious here. So we'll go here, jump onto this one. And we'll wait till this little island gets here, jump onto that one, move all the way over here, jump off, and we're on the checkpoint. Okay, so if those still seem a little fast, okay, so we made it there. So let's do one additional thing. So I think that is, to me, still slightly fast. So what we're going to do is we'll go down here, let's move this. And so 180, 30 more. Let's go to 210 right there. And we'll just take these three, just left click and drag, and we'll just drag these across. Okay. And here's where our pause is. So let's take these here. And from 120, let's just move those over to, say, 140. So now let's see what we have this time. You can kind of see them all there. Let's go back to the beginning. And so we'll go a little slower here. We have a little bit longer pause, and then they move back. So that looks much better to me. So I'm going to kind of go with that. And did I get that on 210? Yeah, so we're good to go. Okay, so that pretty much gets that part of it. So we're done with that part of the sequencer. Now, so what we want to do is we want to kind of go to this checkpoint here. So if you press 3 on your keyboard, okay, so I'm going to actually reset that. So I want to actually be facing this checkpoint here when I press that button. So the way you reset that is just hold Control, and this is number 3, so we'll set that as 3. If we were to go to number 2, puts us back over here, and number 3 puts us right here. So this is where we want to go. So the next step we need is we need to be able to get to this platform over here. which obviously our character cannot jump that far. We don't want to add any additional islands, and we don't want to add any more moving platforms. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a power up. So we're going to try to get us a jump power up to allow us to be able to jump over to this platform here, which will allow us to be able to navigate these other ones. Now you'll notice these other ones here have some additional locations here, so we're going to see what we're going, but we're looking to go right over here. Okay, so we're going to go from there, navigate these here, up these stairs. We're going to have a couple of jump power-ups to get to there. Okay, so that's what we're going to set up. Then we're going to go back and we're going to add some coin pickups and things like that. So let's go into our Hour of Code folder. Go to Blueprints, and if you look down through here, there should be a jump boost. So there's this little yellow one right here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to take it and just move it over here. Okay, and what we want to do is, let's drag it up a little bit, and we can't really see it there, so let's rotate it around so we can see it. Jump boost like that. Okay, so this would be our jump boost, and let's go ahead and say current camera location, so that if we're here at number 3, we will actually play from that point there. So we'll go ahead and click that, and now we'll notice we got this little jump. So if we go over here and we pick this up, you hear that, and now my character is able to jump a little higher, so kind of cool. So now if I go here, I can probably jump back down and get it, and I can pick it up again, and my character is able to jump a little higher, as you can see. So you'll notice it disappears, and then we can pick it back up after a couple seconds. So what we want to do here is go here, pick that up, we can jump a little higher, and now we can jump to this one, and we can still jump a little higher there, and now it's kind of worn off. We'll be setting up a different timer, but now I'm kind of stuck, can't get up there. So what we need to do is we need to set one up here so we can actually jump a little higher up to that one as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and take where we need to go to here. So we've got a jump boost there. We're going to add an additional one right here. So we'll go ahead and add this one. Let's raise it up above the ground a little bit. And if we go back to 3, hit play, and let's see what we can do here. So we can go here, we got our checkpoint, we got our jump boost here, we can jump a little further. Awesome. We can get our character over here, we can go here, jump up here, we've got, and there we go. So now we're up to this point here, so we can get to where we need to go. So what we want to do, we can see our moving platforms and everything, and see where we've kind of came from. So what we need to do now is put a checkpoint right here. So this looks like a pretty cool way here where we can eventually do some flying around and different things like that. So let's go ahead and add up here. So we see destination 3, so let's add our checkpoint. And let's kind of turn it around where we can see it. Oop, wrong way. So we want it to be like that. And always just make sure you kind of drag it up and then just hit the end key. It should snap it down, and that'll get us there. So let's go back to number 3. Let's go ahead and hit play. Got our checkpoint here, got our jump boost, can jump, check everything out, jump again, jump over here again, come up here to this part, jump up here to this one, and boom, we're on the next checkpoint. And we can just kind of dive off here, and then our character will spawn back here. So that's pretty much what we're looking to do. And we can kind of pick this up here. We can kind of do some cool stuff. Yeah. So if we're going back this direction, we can probably just make it. so we can jump up here on this rock and things like that. So so pretty interesting process here. So what we need to do is we need to jump down here on this one, and we can work our way back, and we get on this platform here, and we'll ride it back over till this one comes over. Let's get on this one, see if we can get back in here, so we can kind of backtrack our way through. This one's coming back over, and we can ride it back, and we're back over here to this checkpoint as well. So, and then we can jump, and if we jump off, we'll see where we spawn again, and we're back at this checkpoint here. Okay, so let's go back to number 3. So what we want to do is kind of look a little bit for a minute at this jump boost and how it works. So let's double jump or double click our jump boost, and we'll get on in here and let this pull up. Okay, so we'll see here. There's this activity 3. You'll notice that there's an activity 5 that we'll be adding to this in a future point. Okay, so what we want to do here is we look, and let's look at the viewport first. So here's our jump boost. You'll notice that what we have is we have our power up static mesh. We have a sphere collision, which is what our character will overlap, and which will cause this to activate. The code that we will look at, and then we've got our jump boost, which is just a text, render text, and we've got some rotating movement. If you click simulation, it just shows you what it does. So it just spins around. Okay, which kind of makes it a little more interesting. So if we go over, not really anything in our construction script, but in our event graph, it's going to say here on component begin overlap, the sphere collision, which is this right here. We've done these before. We're going to cast our epic character. So when we cast our epic character, what we're going to do is the first thing that it's doing is it's as this character over here, it's getting the character's movement component, okay, which controls the character's ability to jump, to run, speed, and different things like that. So what we're going to do is going to set the jump z velocity. That is the up velocity, and that has a particular value. So if we look at this variable here that is created in here, it is set to 1500. It looks like 1500 to me, maybe 15,000, but it's set up there. So this is the amount of jump. That's 1500 because here's our slider range. So this is a float variable. And you'll notice there's little eyeballs here, which means that this is a public variable, which gives us the ability inside the editor as we place these to adjust this. What you can see here, it has a slider range of 900 up to 3000. Okay. In this little instance editable here, if I were to uncheck that, you'll notice the little eyeball goes away. I click it again, the eyeball comes back, which is what we want. So this is here is what's going to set this velocity here for us. Okay, and then what happens is what they're doing is they're taking this power up here. So they're taking the static mesh part and they are toggling its visibility. So they're basically just, instead of destroying it, all it's doing is just hiding it temporarily. Okay, and then they're running a function to set the collision enabled of the sphere collision, which is what activates this code at the beginning, to no collision. So what that does is it means that we can't just run over this invisible object multiple times. So we're just going to turn the collision off for a minute. Then you have this play in this sound at the actor location. So that's the little sound that we hear. And then there's a delay. So the delay is controlled by this cooldown variable, which in this case is 4 seconds. Now it also is editable, which we're going to look at that in a minute. And it has a slider range of 0 to 6. So it would be 0 to 6.0, which would equate in this situation to 0 to 6 seconds. Okay, so by default it's at 4. We can actually change that if we want to. So once that timer is over, that delay, and this is kind of a cooldown timer just so that you can't use it again until that's over with. Then we're going to turn this power up back on. So we're going to toggle this visibility back on, and we're going to set our collision on our sphere back to collision-enabled query in physics. Okay. So as you notice that our epic character all the way over here, it's going to say is valid. So what that's going to do, this particular function here is going to determine, is this a valid, is this character still valid, which basically means that your character hasn't fallen off into the big hole there and has been destroyed before it sets the jump velocity back to 600. So the default jump velocity for your character is set at 600. So this is just going to do a check to see, is this character still alive in the game. That's basically all that this code here is doing. And if it is, it's going to set that jump velocity back. Okay, so that's pretty much how the code works and what it is. So we'll go ahead and quickly compile and save that, and then we can close that back out. Now, talking about the public variables, and you can make a variable public so you have access to it over here. So if we click this, you'll notice in the details panel over here that under the jump, and let me show you just real quick how you see that. So here is the jump. So you have jump as a category of variables. So that's what we're seeing right here. So you see jump velocity and cooldown time. It does have sliders, so you can actually adjust these individually. So this one, we'll just leave this one at 1500. Let's say we can do a slider. You can slide this down so you see it goes down. Let's just change it to 3.0 for this one. And we can say, let's make this 2000. Okay. Now, if you try to set this here to say 10,000, it's not going to do it. So that's what the range is for. So if you want to restrict the range, and I know a lot of my students are notorious for changing these values to enormously high values, but we'll make this one 2000, and then the other one we'll kind of leave it alone. So we'll leave the other one over there alone, and so we'll go to number 3, and we'll hit play, and now we'll see if we can jump slightly higher with this power up. So we got this here, and sure enough, we see that with 2000 we're a little bit higher, and jump over here, and then 1500 is going to give us enough height here to get up there. Okay, and if we go back here and look, there our power up shows back up. So that's the cooldown feature there. We can go down here, and if we watch, about 4 seconds later, it will pop back up, and now we can only jump so high. Okay, so if we click this here, we can jump this high, we can jump this high again, as long as that value, and once it resets, it goes back to normal. Okay, so hopefully you understand how that works. That's how you this code works here. We'll look at the other ones as we get into them. So now what we need to look at is we have some coins here. So let's say that as we go up here, we'll place one of these nice little coins in here. So let's just go here, press end. Let's look and see what they look like. Okay, that's actually, oh, that is a gem. We don't want to do the gem. We want to do the coin. Okay, here we go. This is what we want. Okay, so we have a coin pickup here, as you can see. And let's just double click and look at it. This video is getting a little bit longer, but that's okay. So we've got some simulation. We do have a rotating movement here, so if we simulate it, our little coin will look like that right there. Okay, so that's what we're looking at, and so we're going to place a few of these here and there. So this will be like some reward parts here. So we'll put one, oops, put one right there. It's going to go all the way in the ground. Don't really like that, so let's move it up a little bit. Okay, so we got a coin there. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and add one right here. I'll drag that up. And we'll just kind of place a few of these. Camera's going a little fast. We'll make it a little. So you'll be able to place a few of these. So what I'd like for you to do is go ahead and place some of these around your level. I'm going to pause my video so you don't have to watch me do this, and I'm going to add several throughout this level, and then we'll kind of go back and look at it and kind of finish it up. Okay, I have now put quite a few coins scattered throughout, maybe a little too many coins. But as you can see, all these little objects right here are all coins all the way through. I kind of use that to direct our character. These are a little interesting to try to get because these do not move with the platform. So you have to kind of ride the platform a little bit to get to those. And we have some in the hallway there, and then some all the way over here at our beginning, all the way through. So to give our character some extra chances to be able to collect some coins. So we'll be adding that. So we're going to go ahead and add these in here so we can learn to pick them up. And then we'll kind of go from there in a later lesson on counting them and adding them to our HUD. Okay, so I'm going to press 1 and just kind of run you through this level right quick just to kind of show you what it looks like. And then that will pretty much be the end of this, just kind of give you an idea how you want to set this up. And so I'm going to run through here, this hallway. And now I have some little coins here to pick up, so I can pick this up. Got a nice little sound. Oops, missed that one. Maybe I can get up on this rock somehow. There we go. Just got a few over here. You can scatter these wherever you want. Make them a little more difficult. If you want to, we'll kind of sprint over here a little bit. Over here, and so got these on these platforms here kind of as a guide. So if you want to guide your player through your level, you can kind of add these, or maybe put some special ones in some other areas, lead them to places where there's a locked door or something, which we'll do at a later time. So we made it all over here, right there, at this checkpoint here. This one there, so go through here. We should be able to pick these up as we go across. You jump for that one. And you notice that this one right here, these are actually floating in the air. So to pick them all up, we kind of have to ride back and forth, and kind of the same way with this one. So to be able to get all these, and our character might want to now we got them all. We go here, get these. Oh, gotta wait on that to come back. So here we go. We're up here to this one, and we're at checkpoint number 2. So let's collect a couple of these coins here. And now you notice what I did here is I kind of put these going up through here, so our character, if they do that, they don't actually pick those up. So what that forces our character or player to do to collect these is to jump back down. Oh, and I didn't make it. So I got to start back here again. Yeah, I can get it there. So we'll jump over here, jump on this one, jump to this one. And there's one hidden over here. There's one right here. Get that one and finish our checkpoint. So we've got all of our coins, and like I say, you can add as many or as few as you want. Make them difficult to get to. You know, maybe make them up high where you have to pick up one of the jump pickups and then jump up for your character to be able to get them that way. So a lot of different things you can do with this to make it a little more interesting. We'll pick up on, so we should be on number 4. Okay, so we're going to kind of wrap this one up here. You can work on your level. The level design part is what makes this game more interesting and interesting for you. So that'll be the end of lesson 3, and then so we'll do lesson 4 next. But feel free to do as many of these as you want. You can even actually, if you want to create additional platforms over here that move, that you could go over to somewhere else. If you wanted to take one and move it over here, just add it like we did the third one, and you can do lots of other things in this area here if you like. So enhance it. It's your game. You want to do the things that you need. So to end this lesson, what you'll want to do is, once you have all these done, the screenshots you'll need to take. So let's see here. Let me get to number 2. So number 3. So our checkpoint here. So what you want to do is you'll want to kind of come over here where you have your jump boost, as it's kind of going to appear with some of your coins. Of course, take a screenshot of this one. So just a screenshot of your screen here, pretty much. In your Google Docs, save that one there. Cancel that out. Okay, and you kind of come over here where you have your second one. Second jump boost should be right over here, so you can kind of get it. Where you can kind of see it from these stairs right here. So something maybe like that. So you do another one for here. So we can see that one. And then finally, here where you have your last checkpoint, do a screenshot there so I can see that. And then finally, if you have all your coins and you want to kind of get a big overview, something maybe like this to show that you've something to this effect here. So this kind of gives you an overall bird's eye view of your, maybe back a little further, a little bird's eye view of your level as a whole. Then just take you a screenshot of that. So that should be about 4 screenshots like that. Okay, so that should wrap up this lesson. Just kind of get all those done, and like I say, you can go back and add additional ones if you'd like, and make your level as interesting and maybe even as challenging as you want to. So that's going to end this lesson, and we'll see you in lesson number 4.